Hey everybody, it is your realtor Nick Isgro with eXp Realty here in Central Maine. Today we're going to be going over one of the questions that I get asked probably more often than any other question. I'm sure every other realtor you know is getting asked this very same question. Should I sell my house now in this great seller's market? Before you do, there's a few questions you need to ask yourself. We're going to go over those coming right up. Okay, everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Again, this is Nick Isgro with eXp Realty, and today we're going to talk about whether or not you should be selling your house. This is a crazy seller's market. Everybody's getting excited. Everybody's like, should I jump in? Well, maybe is the correct answer, maybe. You got to ask yourself a few questions, but when we get through the questions, there's an even more important piece of information that I want to give you, a little tip at the end, so stick around till then. But let's dive right into what you should be asking yourself before you sell your house. All right, so you're preparing to sell your house. The first question you want to ask yourself before you put it to market is, do you know where you're going? Clearly, in this crazy market, you got to think about where it is you're going to be moving to, like everybody else that's putting their house on the market. It could be that you're moving out of state. Maybe you've got a new job. In that case, the question isn't, are you going to sell your house? The question is, when? You know, maybe you're going to rent for a little while. Maybe you want to ride out this market. You want to sell your house, cash out now, rent for a while, and wait until something more advantageous comes on the market for you. It may be that you want to seek out another house first, get that under contract, and then get your house under contract. None of these are really the right or wrong answer. It's really all about what works best for you and for your situation. And it's just important to think about these things ahead of time. Make sure you flesh these out. And I would say probably important to have at least one, maybe two backup plans in case the first plan doesn't work out. Because once you hit the market, you don't want to put the brakes on things. You want to get through, have a positive experience of selling your house. So as long as you have these things planned on the front end, things will go much, much more smoothly for you. Okay, now the second question that you should be asking yourself when you're thinking about whether or not you want to put your house on the market is, are you or you and your family ready for the merry-go-round? You know, they say that buying a house is like riding a roller coaster, kind of up and down, up and down. And while that might be true, selling your house right now in the seller's market can definitely feel like you're on a merry-go-round where sellers are being kind of spun around and they don't even know what direction it's going. First of all, you're going to have lots of showings likely. If your house is priced right and you're in the right location, you need to be prepared for regular and steady visits to your home, especially in the first couple of weeks that it's on the market, which by and large is when it should sell. If you are working at home, which a lot more people are today, that's something you need to consider because you're going to be getting the calls and asking for people to come into your house at least once a day, a lot of times multiple times a day. Are you going to be able to take your work with you somewhere else? Or are you going to be able to at least adjust for those showings? Maybe if it's a nice day, you have a back patio or a porch or something like that. Again, no major emergency, but it's something you need to think about. Also, what happens a lot is everybody's in a rush to buy, you get your house under contract, and all of a sudden the buyer that was promising you the world, not so keen on the house, starts getting nitpicky, wants to renegotiate, and next thing you know, the contract falls apart and you've got to start all over again. Doesn't happen a ton, but it does happen. And these are things that you just want to be prepared for going into the process. And it's just important that you think about these things and that you're ready and prepared and that your house is just going to be ready to go until you get it under escrow and things are moving forward to close. All right, guys, the third thing you want to ask yourself when deciding if you're going to sell your house right now is your house ready to show, or do you need to put a little bit more time into it? Even in this crazy seller's market, there are minor ways to make sure that your house gets the most attention, your house gets the top contract, squeeze the last few dollars out of it, and those might be easy things like painting, it could be things like landscaping, Could be cleaning, a good deep clean of different areas of the house. Maybe you've neglected for a little while, I'm just saying. But you know, those things happen. Listen, we all live in our houses, but when it's time to show, you want that place beautiful and immaculate to squeeze every last dollar that you can out of the value of your home, even in the current seller's market. Are you ready to do those things? Have you already done those things? Those questions will kind of answer themselves, and you'll know exactly when it's time to get your house ready to show. All right, guys, the fourth thing that you want to ask yourself when getting ready to sell your house, for some of you out there, this will be applicable, is what are the tax implications? Now, the section you want to go to is the tax code section 121, which gives a $250,000 allowance for single people, $500,000 allowance for married couples, but that's tax-free money that you can take the gains and walk away, but it all depends on what your current situation is in the specific property that you're selling. So my advice as a realtor whose profession is to sell and market your property is to speak to that CPA, that tax professional that you count on for the advice and the guidance when it comes to filing your taxes. Most of the times it's going to be great and work out fine for you, but you just want to know that going into the process so you have the peace of mind and you're ready to move forward. All right, guys, the last big question that you want to ask yourself when you're thinking about getting your house ready to sell is, do you have the best realtor out there doing this for you? Of course, guys, I'm a realtor. I'm going to bring this up. It is so important in this crazy seller's market that you have someone that has the experience, the guidance, the patience to help you sort through the various contracts. Which financing is going to be the strongest, for example? Which person is most likely to get to the closing table? Which person is the least likely to try to renegotiate this thing when you're halfway through under escrow? We don't want to be renegotiating contracts after we're under escrow. These are all things that your realtors are here for. It is what we do all day, every day, and I would advise that you get a realtor. Now, I serve, if you're obviously, I'm a realtor, I serve the central Maine area. I have listed homes from Bangor area down to Portland. I do tend to stay in the Kennebec, Somerset, and Androscoggin County, sometimes Waldo. If it is out of my area, but you just don't know who you want to list your house, please do still drop me a comment, give me a call, send me an email. I will try to help find you and refer you to a realtor that is going to be the best realtor in your area for you. If not, and you want to talk to me about anything and just ask a question, obviously drop it in the comments or give me a call. Be more than happy to flesh out any questions that you might have. All right, guys, so we kind of went over the logistical questions when it comes to whether or not you should sell your house right now. But I want to wrap this up by saying, I think one of the most important questions that you ask before you get into any of this is, why are you selling your house? And for me as a realtor who, when I take on a client, one of the things I like to do before I get any paperwork signed or put papers in front of people is I want to get to know my clients. I want to understand them. I want to understand their motivations, because your motivation and your reasons for selling are going to help the realtor determine exactly how he markets your home, how aggressive or non-aggressive he is in the negotiating. It's going to help your realtor understand how to present the contracts to you and how to weigh the various aspects of the multiple offers that might come in front of you in order to, it's the best for your specific scenario, and everybody's scenario is different. And I do also want to say that you may decide that this just isn't the right time for you to list and sell your home. That is okay, guys. You will have more opportunities down the road. If this just isn't the right time for you and your family, other opportunities will present themselves. However, the caveat is, if you have been thinking about selling, you really want to sell, you know what you want to do, you have a plan, or you're thinking, you're in the stages of planning, start talking to the realtor now, because this really is an unprecedented seller's market. It's just a great market to be in. It's a great market to sell your home. And we are here to guide you through that process and get you where you need to be. All right, everybody, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope it provided some value to your thought process if you're asking yourself the very difficult and large question in your life of whether now is a great time to sell your home for you or for you and your family. Of course, if you like the content, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and do me a favor. Please go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, knock the little bell over here, and you will be alerted as new videos come out from this channel to continue to provide value to make sure you are the best educated, most prepared buyer or seller out there. Making your dreams come true, guys. It's all up to you. At the end of the day, you're the hero of your story. Realtors, we're here to help guide you and assist you in writing the story that you want to plan.